just believe in the power of healing and restoration. And I know that if we can just come together and speak about the hard things, we can finally begin to heal. So, this is where we heal.
Welcome to another episode of This Is Where We Heal podcast. Today I have a guest that I have been so excited to have on. It is Ashley Nordman. She is a St. Louis local. She is the founder of AN Skin and Beauty, licensed esthetician, fitness enthusiast, and athlete for Petula, right?
It's so hard to say.
Why is it so hard?
Yeah.
For Petula athlete. Let's try this again. Fitness enthusiast and athlete for Petula Active. She is a mom. She is a podcaster and just an all-around boss bitch, and that is why we have her here today, because we love that. We love seeing women shine and blossom and bloom and kill it when we live in a world that feels like we can't. So, without further ado, today we have Ashley. And welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ash. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so Ashley and Ashley,
Yeah.
blonde and brunette, we're loving this moment for us.
We really are. And we even coordinated, and we weren't even trying, so it worked out
right?
great.
So you know it's meant to be, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I also have heard like so many things about you.
Oh.
But good
It's okay.
things.
I good and bad, I'll take it all. It's
yeah,
fine.
I casually met you like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, she's awesome. She's beautiful. She's got her own skincare line. Like, she's so cool. Literally didn't know anything else about you. And then somewhere along the line, I heard that like you had been going through a divorce at the time and like all these different things, and that it was very public. And I was like, how was she like doing all these things while going through something so hard? Because obviously I know divorce is brutal.
Yeah.
So I just want to know like your whole story. I want to hear, like, I want to know it all, and I want the viewers to hear it because it's so inspiring to me to like see someone like you that on the outside looking in, you could just look at someone like you and go, oh, she's beautiful, she's fit, she's stylish, she's got her own business, she's just got her shit together, like she's probably has nothing that's been hard in her life. You know, it's so easy to judge somebody based on what you think they are.
For sure.
But I know that that's not the case at all, that you have like work to get where you are, and that's what I love about it. So
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's crazy hearing it out loud. I actually have goosebumps just like hearing it, because I still think I haven't fully processed like what I've gone through in the last couple of years, because I am such a fighter that I just keep going. And sometimes it's really hard for me to just like sit in things, but it's also like a superpower because I don't let anything stop me. And so I'm thankful for therapy and for friends and a good support system, because it does make me actually reflect and process and like be real with myself instead of just hiding, because the younger me, if I had gone through this, I would have just covered it up with work and working out and staying busy and just like almost like avoiding, like avoidant behavior. And now I don't avoid anything. I address it, I feel it, I process it, but I also don't let it stop me. And I give myself like these cues where it's like, okay, you have an hour where you can be sad, or you have an hour where you can be angry or upset, but tomorrow you're waking up and you're getting back to fucking work.
that's so good.
Thank you. And it's actually something that I kind of had to create for myself, because again, like I started realizing I would just avoid the pain, and then you're not actually even working through stuff if you're doing that, and then it comes back later and kind of bites you in the butt. But to answer your question about me. So when we had met, it was at like a charity event, I believe. Yeah. And that I think was right around the time that I started going through my divorce. And it was pretty public. And I never expected that, even though I have, a pretty big following on social media, and I had a lot of people that followed my life, and a lot of people followed our marriage. We posted a lot of things online about it. And for that to just abruptly stop, and then for us to separate, people have questions, and I get that. You know, people are just curious, and they worry, and they want to know how you are. I think some people have bad intentions, but I think, and they're just like drama, they just want to know the tea. But I do think a big percentage of people like genuinely just care, or they like really loved your relationship and like kind of felt like they were part of it, and they just want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that was very new for me, because for my entire life up until my divorce, I was this completely open book. I shared everything online. I shared everything I felt, everything I went through, so much. And I love that I'm an open person. Like, I think it really helps me connect with people and it builds trust. But I've learned not everything is meant for the internet. And it's actually very mature to have things that are sacred and private that you
Wow.
don't share online. Do you feel that way too?
Oh, I mean, that I'm just like dying that you're even saying that. I was having that conversation with my coach not long ago. Like, what is okay to share and what isn't? Because I'm so open, I don't feel like I have anything to hide at all.
Same.
And there's a part of me that really values that about myself. Like you said, like, I think there's a beauty in being able to say, like, yeah, I'm freaking struggling right now.
Yeah.
And I don't have any shame in that. It's just human. It's life. But there's also a part of me that's like, where is the fine line between this is what I'm going through and this is for you to know? Like, I think I'm still balancing back and forth, you know?
Me too. It's tricky. And being someone who's very trustworthy or trusting, I'm very trusting.
Yes.
And because of that, I always think people are going to take what I tell them and use it for good. And a lot of times it's held over me or against me. And so going through something like a divorce or anything traumatizing, you know, that really changes your life, it can really help you actually see, like, sometimes you just need to be more private with things and they're not meant for the public to see. And so I do think being as public as I was about everything in my life probably caused a lot of issues in my marriage too, because it felt like, from what I heard from him anyway, like almost like I prioritized on like social media and like the people online over like my real life. And like looking back, I can see how it might have felt that way because it was such an intricate part of my life. It, you know, it funded my business. It is half the reason I have a business. It was my job, but I was so passionate about what I was doing and trying to serve people and help people and share and be real and raw and like show the good and the bad that I was showing everything. And I do think sometimes I let that interfere with reality because I was always so focused on like making the content and sharing the things and, you know, putting it up. And so I can see how that can cause issues, you know?
For sure.
And so there were so many reasons we ended up splitting up that I won't talk about, but I do think social media was a strain on our marriage. And if I ever get married again, I will keep our entire relationship, I believe, like off of the internet.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'll post a picture with them, you know, or a video or something, but I'm not talking about really anything like intimate about us, you know, because I just feel like that's sacred and that
I agree with that.
Yeah. And that is something that is like made for me only.
I
and like,
agree.
I want my real life to be so awesome that I don't have to prove it to anybody.
Yes.
You know? And so going through like just this transition now, I feel like I've just learned so much. And when we split up, it was 2 summers ago now, and my daughter was a year and a half, I think. She was so little. And it was just so hard because nobody ever gets married to
get
divorced.
Yeah.
And I never in a million years thought that was going to happen. You know, I thought I had found my forever and my family and the white picket fence and we were going to have a bunch of kids and like all these things, you know. But I just think there was certain things that after a while, like no matter how hard you fight for something, like if it's just not meant to be, like I'm not going to waste another minute trying to fight for it, you know?
So true.
And when I got to that point, I was like, I have to do what's best for me and what's best for my daughter. And, you know, I don't have any regrets. I really don't. But it was very, if I could go back and put myself in that moment, like when we split up, like I was absolutely terrified. You know, I was the only provider in our family. And I don't have really any family here. And my entire family was his family. And so I'm like, how am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to raise a daughter as a single mom? Like, how am I going to juggle all of this and continue to pay the bills? Like, how am I going to just do it all now by myself without any, like, tribe behind me? You know, I had a couple friends, but they're all moms and busy too, you know?
Yes, exactly.
And so it was just, like, so scary. But I gave myself like that day to just kind of freak out. And then I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of a control freak. So my way of like handling things is like, I need a plan.
Yeah.
So I come up with a plan. I come up with, you know, a process for how I'm going to do this. And then it feels less overwhelming. And so, you know, at first I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Yes.
Nobody does, you
Yes.
know, and being a mom and going through a divorce like that, like you have to be strong for your child. You have to be strong for yourself. It was, you know, I'm so grateful to be a mom and to have gone. I mean, nobody wants to go through divorce as a mom, but like she really is the reason I felt like I got through it so well and was like so strong, because it's like I have to be strong for her.
Yeah. You're kind of, in a way, it's like the beauty of it is that you're being forced to be stronger than you feel.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah, exactly. And so it like really forced me to do the work and to be honest with myself, but also be able to show up every day for her. You know, I can't lay in bed all day. I can't cry. I can't be upset, because I have to be a mom and I have to be a business owner and I have to do things. You know, people rely on me. And looking back, like I genuinely feel like my entire purpose now is to just show up the very best that I can for my daughter, because I don't want to repeat some of the things that have gone, like the generational stuff that has gone through like my family. Like I want to change that. And so I work so hard and go to therapy and like journal and do all the things to really like understand like why I am the way I am, or the way I show up, or how I act certain ways, because I never want to put my family through anything like that again. Like that was the hardest thing my daughter will hopefully ever have to go through, myself will hopefully ever have to go through, and I'm going to make darn sure that in the future I'm my best version of me and I'm being honest about what I actually want, so that I don't end up in a situation again where our whole family is like crumbling, you know?
Yes, so good. Oh my God, all of that. Just like, I felt like you were just telling my story. Like
really?
literally, like even 2 years ago, it was like 2 years ago when I was going through my divorce. And same thing, like people ask me all the time, how do you know when it's time to leave? And for me, it was just like, I had run out of every possible option of what to do to work on myself, or to be a better wife, or to be a better person, or I had done everything in my power to make it work, and I was out. There was nothing left. And I was just like, if nothing ever changes, can I live with this being my life for the rest of my life? And the answer was no for me. Yeah. The answer was, I can't. Life is so short. We get one, and I can't let this be the rest of my life and know that I chose it. And I also thought, I don't want my daughter to think that this is what marriage and love is supposed to look like.
That's the thing. It's like you owe it to your children, child, whoever, to let them see what real love is and to see like what functional parents are. And if you don't feel like that's what they're seeing, your life, you know, if you're allowing it, you're saying it's okay.
Exactly. And same with dating. It's like when I'm dating someone now, which I haven't really for a while, but it's like I'm thinking about her too now. Yeah. Like I'm thinking, who would be good for her? Yeah. Like just not just me. Like who's going to be good enough to me that it's good for her too? That's know? Right.
You have to, because if they're going to have a fatherly figure in their life that isn't a father but is a male, you know, a male influence. Yeah. You want it to be the very best. Yeah. And it's not about yourself anymore and what makes you happy. It's about what makes you and your family or your daughter happy, and how you're going to, I mean, the people you're around are your biggest influences. So you need to have a partner that is great for your child.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's hard to find, but it's also like, you know what being a single mom, it's like, I've learned to find myself so much in this, like find the strength that I didn't know I had in this, because I didn't have anyone I left. I was like, this is probably going to be a shit show. I don't know what I'm doing. I was a stay-at-home mom. I haven't worked in 10 years. Like I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know who I am. I'm completely lost. I'm overweight. Like there was just so many things, but I was just like, well, this is it. I got to figure it out. I have no other options but to just get to work. Just do something, you know?
Do you think it's just like deep within you that you're someone who's like, I'm just going to figure it out?
As you go, you know? Yeah. I've never been like, I'm a dreamer, but it's like I struggled with like self-doubt and things along the way, but it's like, well, I just take that next step. Just take that. I feel like I've been doing that for 2.5 years, 3 years. Just, all right, just take the next step, whatever that looks like.
Like fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Because you have nothing to lose at that point. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I'm forced to go back to work now. I'm forced to do these things. Like I'm just going to do it, you know? I feel like sometimes like when you're getting yourself out of that comfort zone and just like pushing yourself, you kind of stop being as hard on yourself too, because you're like, I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care if it's like a little wrong.
Yeah.
It's like this, or I'm like homeless. Like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean?
Literally, I said that to my coach the other day. It's like, if I end up at Home Depot, that's something. It's at least something, that may be my plan B at this point, but
seriously,
whatever, let's give this a go and see what happens. But
yeah.
no, what I love though about you, and this is like, I would have never known that you were even going through all of that when I met you. Like, you were still so put together, and I think that's just like a testament to how strong and driven you are, because I feel like I was a basket case. I was falling apart. I looked like I was falling apart, like crying on every other video online, but like you seemed like you were so strong in all of that. And I'm sure you didn't always feel that way, but just on the outside looking in, like I said, I would have never known. I had no idea.
Thank you. I think it's so, like I said, it's so interesting hearing this from you, because it's like, I forget that, like, not that it's hard, but that most people it would just show a little more, at times. And I think, I'm not saying like I'm better than anybody or anything, but I just think when you're someone who has gone through a lot already, you show up a little different than maybe if this is someone's first time dealing with hard. Yeah. Like really hard.
That's so true.
And so for me, unfortunately, I've gone through a lot of trauma in my life, and I survived it through that. And I think when these really tough things pop up, I have to remind myself of like, no, Ashley, you've gotten through hard. You've done this before. You've gotten out of abusive relationships. Like, you've gotten out of abusive households. I worked for myself when I was like 14 or 15 years old and provided for myself, like as a teenager, So it's like I had been through situations where I could only rely on me for a very long time, like since I was very young. Oh. And so I think all of that built me into this like person where no matter what I'm going through, even if it is hard, like, yes, I'm a human. I have feelings. It's tough. I have nights where I cry myself to sleep. Yes. But at the same time, like, I am trudging forward because I know I will get through it, even if it's super painful, even if I have to fake a smile, like whatever, because the thing that I've always noticed is that every single thing I go through, especially the hardest things, those are where I learn the biggest lessons. And those are where I change the most. And those are the things where I look back, and even if they were the absolute worst thing that's ever happened to me, I'm actually grateful for it, because it like changes the whole trajectory of my life. And so when you live in that gratitude, like, you don't really feel like you're shaken. Like, I feel like kind of unshakable, because like if my house burned down tomorrow, I would find some sort of like blessing in that, which is so crazy to think. But like, I think when you just work on yourself enough and you've been through enough and you build that confidence that like, I can get through anything, you don't really live in fear anymore.
I mean, it's the truth. Same thing, abusive relationships, hard childhood, like all these things that a lot of people don't understand. But it's like, I look back and I go, even when I'm having a really weak moment where I'm feeling really sorry for myself, and we have them, where I'm like, I hate that this is happening to me again. But it's like, I'm still here. I'm still going. Still showing up. I haven't fallen apart completely yet. I'm still walking. I'm still getting up, still trying to be presentable, still pursuing my dream. Like, I'm still here. I'm still going. And like you said, it's like when you really change the perspective of like, this is awful, this is happening, to, wow, like, I learned so much about myself. I've gained more respect for myself because I'm not falling apart this time.
Yeah, that part. The respect. Yeah.
Like, you just like you start to trust yourself more, because you're like, okay, I made it through the abusive relationship, and I fell apart for a little bit, but I got back up. I was sexually assaulted, but I got back up. I got through it. I have been in horrible relationships. I've had my heart broken. I've been betrayed. I've been cheated on. I've been lied to. I've been all these things, and I still have an open, loving heart. Like, I keep getting back up. So no matter what happens, I at least trust myself to know that even if I fall down, even if somebody kicks me into a 6-foot grave, I'm going to find my way out of it. That's right. And it's not going to be beautiful every time. It's going to be messy, but I will find my way out of it, Yeah. And that's what I love about women, is that we just always find a freaking way.
Yeah, resilient.
We always do. And it's so inspiring.
It is. And like, I was just listening to what you're saying, and it's so true about like trusting yourself and having that confidence, because I think a lot of times the reason women don't leave is because they don't trust their decision. They're like, is this right? Is this wrong? You know, and I remember in therapy for months having this conversation, and my therapist just being like, Ashley, like, there doesn't have to be a good enough reason. There doesn't have to be this like big overarching thing, like, you know, because when I was younger, it always had to be this blowout or this like abusive thing or something, like this big reason where it's like, that's why I have to leave, you know? And she's like, so many women don't just trust that if it's not right, it's not right. They have to have like, oh, well, he did this. Oh, well, he cheated. Oh, well, he beat me. And it's like, why would you wait for all of that? And they're just waiting because they don't actually trust themselves that what their gut and their heart and their mind are telling them are actually real.
God, that's so good. That's
it's true, so though. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and when you've been in an abusive situation before, like physically abusive, and you're married and you're like, okay, this person isn't physically abusing me. You have to fight yourself to be like, okay, but that doesn't mean I don't get to make this choice for myself.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean I'm stuck here, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Yes.
It's harder to walk away when there's not obvious things that everyone can see that is wrong, you know?
It's true. And I'm in all these, like, mom groups on Facebook, and you always hear them, like, talking about, like, we're asking for advice. Like, is it time for me to leave yet? Like, they just want someone to, like, make the decision for them. And I just notice, like, a recurring theme is just these women not being confident in their own decision and, like, just standing up for themselves and believing, like, life will go on. I can do this. Like, I need to leave because I just know it's right. They're just, like, waiting for, like I said, that moment where, like, something really big and bad happens where they can, like, blame that.
Yeah.
And I just, like, hope women that maybe are listening to this, that, like, if they're in a place where they don't know if they should leave or stay, like, they shouldn't – it's not fair to themselves to just wait until they get abused or they get – cheated on or whatever. Like, it's only going to hurt more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. I mean, honestly, that's so true. I tell people, like, you get two choices. The pain, you don't get to choose that. The pain is there. It's going to be there whether you stay. It's going to be there if you go. Either way, it's going to be painful. You have to decide, do you want the pain to be permanent, or do you want it to go, like, take the risk of having that temporary pain that you actually have hope on the other side of?
Yeah.
Like, when you leave a situation where you're miserably unhappy, you're not treated well, you're not loved, you're not cared for, you're not respected, like, yes, it's going to hurt, but at least that's a temporary pain that you will actually have a chance to, like, work your way through and get out of, you know? And it sucks. It sucks so bad, but it's like, you get to choose, like, which pain is worth it, you know?
Yeah, it's like that quote, like, choose your hard. Like, it's all going to be hard. So if you can at least be in the driver's seat and decide what's best for you, like, even when it's hard, if you have a plan or you can see, like, where the future is going, like, that is also another thing that I feel like can pull you through, you know? And when you have a daughter or, like, people that motivate you, like, that helps you get through it too when you're not alone.
You said that you had, like, a really good support system.
Yeah.
So that has been, like, the most powerful thing for me. I didn't have that before. When I first left, I didn't have that. My family's very religious, and it's not that they stopped loving me, but they didn't know how to support a divorce, right? So they couldn't be there for me in the way that I probably wanted and needed.
That probably hurt.
Oh, it sucked. It sucked, and I don't have any, like, resentment. I get it, but and they eventually came around, and now everything's really good. But over the last year, though, in my healing, like, I have this group of women now that I'm just like, I thank God for every single day, because I'm like, I wouldn't be as strong as I am right now without these women that showed up in my life that I didn't expect to be in my life, that have healed me in so many ways. And so I would love to hear more about, like, that experience for you, just having that support system, because I think that's so powerful.
Yeah.
We sometimes forget what a blessing it is to have those people in our lives.
What's interesting for me is my support system actually got a lot smaller when I went through all of the divorce stuff. And I was, again, grateful for that, because it showed me who was really there for me and who wasn't. They always say, you know, like, divorce and weddings and, like, big moments in your life, like, show you who people really are. And I lost some really close friends that I didn't think I would, or people that would, like, maybe stay friends with him and not with me. And honestly, I didn't care. I was like, that's fine. Like, if that's what they want to do, then I'm just so glad, like, I know now, you know?
That's
Like,
so
I don't
good.
want people who don't want me.
Yeah. No, I mean, but seriously,
Yeah,
though.
it's true. It's like I just am in a phase of my life where it's like I'm so secure in who I am, and I know that I'm like a great friend and a great person, and like if you don't see that in me, then that's okay.
Yeah.
And so in a weird way, my support system got way smaller, but it got way better.
Yes.
Because it weeded out all of those people
That's
that
so
were just
true.
kind of leeching on or just wanted to know the
Yes.
tea or whatever.
Yes.
Because of course you get the people too that act like they want to be close to you when you're going through this stuff, but they're really just trying to get the updates, go tell their other friends.
That's hard to decipher, by the way.
I know, and I just
especially when you're trusting.
yes, that's the problem with me recurring.
Yeah.
I trust everyone. I think they're good, and then
Yeah.
I find out they're not, and I'm like, dang it.
You're like,
I thought I
saw
could
the
trust
signs,
you.
I just didn't see it coming.
Yes, and so I'm like super selective with who I talk about or who I talk to about like intimate things or like difficult things or especially like my divorce kind of stuff because it's my family. Like I'm like I want to protect my family. You know, I don't want to like ever make them vulnerable. So I try to be very selective in who I am like talking to or like leaning on. And like I said, I don't have a lot of family here. So I have a couple really close friends that really helped pull me through it. It's probably like
Aw.
3 or 4 girls. They're amazing. And they've been my friends for a very long time, which also helps just because they saw it all. You know, they
Yeah.
saw me before I was with my ex. They saw me with my ex. They saw me go through the marriage stuff, the hard stuff. Like they've seen it all. And not that a newer friend can't be there for me.
Right.
But they just know the history and
Yeah.
it's just easier to like lean on them. And I do have a childhood best friend that we've been best friends since, gosh, 3rd grade, maybe.
Aw.
I know. I'm so blessed because you don't hear of that really much anymore. And she is like my absolute rock through everything. Like if I need anything, like she is just like my go-to girl. And I just love her presence, her energy. She's literally like a sister to me. And so I'm very thankful for her too, because she really pulled me through the
Mhm.
days just when I like really just needed someone the most. Like she was always there for me.
Yep.
And so it's been great. Like I just keep my small group nice and close. And you know, it is life-changing when you have even just 2 or 3
Yes.
people that you can call your best
Yes.
friends that you know no matter what you say or do, they're a vault. It'll stay with them and it won't leave.
And it really, for me, it's like made me really cherish those relationships more than ever.
For sure.
You know?
I don't even care anymore. Like, I feel like when I was like 16, I wanted to have like 25 friends. I wanted this list so long, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to be the cool girl that everyone likes. And now I'm like, I don't even have time for
Same.
that. Like, I want like 4 friends that are
Same.
like my ride or dies that I literally will go to the grave with. And like, that's it.
Yeah, that's literally like my entire life. The only time I'm leaving my house is for one of them. That's it.
Yeah.
Groceries, best friend,
Yeah.
like that's it. That's all we
Yeah.
got. The rest
Yeah.
of them just home hanging, doing whatever. But
Yeah.
like, no, that's so good. So you actually, didn't you built your skincare line during your divorce, didn't you?
So I actually started it during COVID in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so that was before.
Yep, before. But like literally my business like blew up like basically the year we were like separating. So it was just like everyone started kind of finding out about it around here, especially in St. Louis, like
Wow.
right when we were like separating.
What
so
a weird thing to
Yeah.
like comprehend.
Yeah.
Like that this one part of your life is like a bomb just went off. This other part of your life is like taking off like a rocket and you're like, whoa. Like
Yeah.
how did you do that?
I felt like my head was like on a swivel for a minute because it was just like, which way do I go? Like it was just so much at once because, you know, I'm like learning how to be a single mom, navigating a divorce, and like that entire change. Like I literally hadn't lived alone in like how long, you know,
Yeah.
and now I'm like all alone in my house. I'm like, what? And I'm also a dog mom, so trying to like manage my
Right.
dog and like how I'm gonna walk her while also like running a business. And then I have like this, you know, business that's like blowing up like crazy, and I just bought my warehouse and like had just renovated my storefront.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was trying to get back at the time into like doing treatments and stuff too, because I'm a licensed esthetician. And honestly, it just like wasn't in the cards because it was like something's got to go. Like I don't have enough time right now for
Yeah.
all of this. And so I just really, the thing I like pride myself in is I'm very, very good with time management. So I'm like a freak about that. I'm like super organized. I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead, which it's a good thing and it's also not, because it is hard for me to be present.
Yeah.
Because even like, luckily right now when I'm like podcasting, like it's something I love because my brain actually shuts off and I can focus. But very few things in my life allow me to just focus on one thing. I'm always doing like 6 things at once. And again, blessing and a curse. I get a lot of shit done.
Yeah.
But I'm also like in 4 worlds at once in my mind.
Yes. Feel that.
Which I feel like you told me you have ADHD, so
Feel
you
that.
probably get that.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's about 25 worlds up there.
Yeah,
going on.
yeah, exactly. So I've gotten really good at delegating, really good at having a great team that helps me.
Yep.
And like my assistant helps me with so much. Like I just try to offboard things that I don't have to do so that I can actually focus on loving the work that I do without getting burnt out.
Yes.
Being there for my daughter, having the extra time when I need to like be able to take her to appointments or go to the park or whatever I want to do to, you know, be able to show up as a mom and not feel like I'm stressed out.
Yes.
And so doing that, like, it really was like an ego check kind of, because I used to pride myself in like, I do it all myself and I work 14-hour days, you know? And now I'm like, cool, I work like 6 hours a day and I get way more done because I have a group of people that actually help me with this.
Yeah, and you're not burnt out.
Yeah, and I'm not burnt out because I've owned other businesses before this and I would burn myself out and then quit because it was just like, I would be so exhausted by it that I like couldn't even look at it anymore.
Yes.
Be like eating the same meal every day and then just being so sick of it you can never eat it again.
You know that's an ADHD thing, right?
It's gotta be. That I used to do that too.
I would literally like get this grand idea and like the creative part of me is just flourishing all the time.
Me too.
And I'd get this out of me like, this is the thing. And I would just dive in head first and give it everything I've got. And then one day I'd be like, I don't ever want to do it again.
Yeah. You
Not
just
done.
like throw it in the
Finished.
trash. You're like, and we're done. Yep.
Like I've done that a million times.
I used to too.
Yeah, same thing with foods
Yes.
and songs. Like I'll listen to a song until I literally can't stand it anymore. Like
I know I'm trying so hard to resist that Morgan Wallen's
Yes,
new song
I
that
won't
just
even
came out
listen to
today.
it.
I listened to it 3 times. I was like, Ashley, 3's enough because you're gonna hate it in a day, and it's just came out. Like, stop.
seriously, I do it every time. And with foods too.
Yeah.
Find a place I like, I go to that restaurant every single day.
Eat the same
Right?
thing
Get the same exact
for a month,
thing.
and then you ghost them. You're
And then
just
I'm
done.
like, even the thought of that is making me sick. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
totally an ADHD
That was
thing.
me forever. So now I'm like, balance. Like, let's still be able to like go all in with what I do, but just like actually be okay with
but
accepting help.
Yeah, exactly. That's so good.
And I think there's like, okay, I wish I like had the quote in front of me. You've probably seen it online where they say that women that like rely on themselves and like are not good at asking for help, it's actually like a trauma response
Yes,
because
it
they've
is.
only ever had to rely on themselves.
Yes.
I like saw this online the other day. I was like, that is me. Because I was always let down my whole life by everyone.
Mhm.
So I would just like only rely on me.
Yes.
And so I think another thing that really helped me, like after going through such a crazy chapter with like my divorce and like my business and just so much at once, was learning to be okay with asking for help, and that it's like not me being a burden. It's not me being weak. It's not me being bad at my job. Like whatever it is, like it's a good thing to ask for help.
So true.
And I'm still working on that because I
Oh,
like
it's
to just
hard.
be the queen of doing it all myself, and I run myself into the damn ground.
No,
like,
same.
literally.
I will literally do it myself or I won't do it at all.
Yes.
But I refuse to ask for help.
Yes,
It's
I'm
like,
so
I
stubborn.
need to do this, but I'm just, actually, you know what? Forget it. I'd rather die than
Yeah.
ask for help.
Yes, seriously. I will
I'd
die on
rather
this hill.
Yeah,
I'll
I'd
do it
rather
myself.
never happen than ask someone to help me do it. Like, but
Yeah.
I'm getting better at that too.
Yeah.
Like having a coach has helped a lot. Being in therapy has helped a lot.
Yeah.
I think this is the first year in my entire life where, like, when I'm really having a hard day, I'm actually able to call someone and be like, I'm not okay. I'm
Yeah,
not
instead of
okay.
just trying to deal with it alone.
Yeah.
I
Which
know.
is hard. But man, does it feel good to
Because
have
you feel
people.
annoying. You're like, I don't want to annoy them.
I don't want to.
But then it's like, but we're also taking from them the
Yeah.
ability to help. And
Yeah.
real friends want to help. Like,
and I'm
I love
also
helping mine.
yes, and I'm the same. And on the other flip of that, I'm the person that's always like, if you ever need anything, call me and I'll be there, and I will.
Mhm.
I absolutely will. But it's like when I need, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put that.
I know.
on
And
them.
they want to help you.
Yeah.
It's just trauma.
Well, and
Gotta
that's,
love it.
that's how you know you have your people too.
Yes,
Like,
it's true. Where
like-
they need nothing in return. They just like literally want to be there for
yes,
you.
exactly.
Mhm.
That's so true. So then you start. So you used to be first form.
Yep.
So what did you do with first form, and then you transitioned to I can't say the word.
Aesthetics.
No, the athletic company that you're.
Oh, Petula.
Okay,
Petula.
so first form to Petula, bridge that for me.
Okay, so I moved to St. Louis in 2017. I'm from Illinois originally.
Oh, me too.
And are you? Yeah, I'm from Northern Illinois.
Oh,
And
I don't know
so
where it's mine somewhere. Around
I
there.
grew up on a farm, and so
Not a farm, but country girl.
okay, love that. We have that in common.
Yes.
And I moved here in 2017 because First Form's headquarters is here. They're actually right near here where we're recording. Yeah. And so I would come down here a lot for like photo shoots or weekends that they would have like athlete stuff. And I started working for them when I was in the bodybuilding industry. I had met them at like a bodybuilding competition, and then I started like selling their supplements online. And then I kind of got involved that way and eventually became an athlete.
Okay.
So I moved down here because I loved all the opportunities I had. And honestly, at the time, I was kind of trying to find like a new home base.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? It's still in the Midwest. It's only a couple hours from my hometown. Like, why not?
Yeah.
So I moved to St. Louis, and I've clearly stayed here since. I love St. Louis.
Oh,
I love this area.
that.
I do. I love it here. It is definitely home.
Oh.
And after a few years of living here, though, I developed a bunch of health issues, and I was having like really bad issues with my hormones. I had really bad gut issues, crippling anxiety, like all this stuff. I was undiagnosed with hypothyroidism. And so my thyroid was like not working. I had no energy. I would literally go to drive somewhere in the afternoon, and there were 2 times where I literally fell asleep while driving. Like I was so exhausted, but I was getting like plenty of sleep at night. It was like not making sense. So I started working with like functional health doctors and eventually went through this whole healing journey. And when I did, as I was healing, I went off birth control and was trying to just like detox my body, and my entire face went crazy, and I started developing like super bad cystic acne. I mean, my whole face was acne.
What?
And that is, again, pain leading you to your purpose. Like I went through this super painful period of my life where I was like unhealthy essentially because I was so extreme in the bodybuilding world and the fitness world. And it had nothing to do with First Form. It was just the world I was already in. I was bodybuilding and doing crazy stuff. So I like took a break from First Form, took a break from bodybuilding. Like you, I was like all in with stuff. So I was like, I either have to completely walk away or keep doing what I'm doing and like just get more sick, you know?
Yeah.
So I had to take this huge break, and I just kind of stopped doing everything. And when I did, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to pivot and like get into a different industry. And so that's when I went to aesthetic school here in St. Louis and became a licensed esthetician because my skin, like I said, was breaking out super bad. It was like a huge insecurity of mine. And I was on this journey to heal my body and also my skin.
Yeah.
And so I went to school to figure out how to heal my face. Literally, I pretty much did it for myself at first. I was like, I just want to know how to get this acne gone. I mean, I had it for years growing up. It kind of went away, and then it came back, I mean, so bad for probably 2 years, back in like 2018 to 2020-ish. And so that's when I went to school, learned how to heal my acne, got my skin clear, and then I just fell in love with like the beauty industry. So I got into like the skin world, and that's when I started working at a plastic surgery center here, doing facials and treatments and things like that. And I really just kind of went all in with that industry. And so now I'm still in this industry. Yeah. I've been in it for 8 years, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love helping people with their skin. I'm doing facials again, which I'm so grateful to do. And I have my skincare line. I help people with regimens and things like that. But then on top of that, I'm also still kind of like an online influencer because I've been doing that for, 15 years, just kind of sharing my life online. And when I went through this transition, I kind of started working with more, I don't even know, just like different brands, I guess, as I kind of like evolved. And so I work with a couple of different lines that promote like, you know, health and wellness and things like that. And Petula is a fitness apparel brand, and they're in Ohio, and it's women owned, which I love because I'm a female owned business.
Yes.
And I just love what they stand for. They have really great products, and it's very like female empowerment kind of focus, which I think is super
cute,
cool.
by the way.
Yeah, and their stuff's so cute. So
so cute.
I started working with them probably only like 6 months ago, and honestly, I was so proud to get like that collab with them because talk about freaking determination. I have been on social media, like I said, for 15 years. It took me 14 years, right? Yes, to finally get a viral reel that hit over 1 million. Yeah, that's how long it took me. So that's why I'm like,
that's shocking to me.
Yeah, the first time I hit 1 million was like not even 6 months ago.
What?
Over 1 million. Yeah.
You're kidding.
For the first time. And I have been doing social media for so long. So
that's
I was
so surprising.
And so that shows like if you can't get viral content, just don't quit. It takes forever.
Oh, seriously.
You just can't quit.
I don't even look at views anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. And so that was cool. And then this is the first time I've gotten a collaboration with like a fitness brand. And I've always wanted to like work with like fitness apparel and stuff. So I'm really grateful that they work with me, and I love their products and their
See, that's
apparel.
surprising. I just would think they'd be blowing you up. Like, cause
right?
I mean, you have like all of it, all the things.
Well, I appreciate you, but my assistant always thinks, well, we talk about this, and I don't know if it's like almost like a threat because I own a business too.
Oh.
I almost feel like that's like always what is.
They're like,
maybe,
she's not gonna. She's got her own.
Or they like think. I mean, I'm not gonna speak for all brands, but I feel like some brands are like, oh, well, we don't want to like support her because then it kind of supports her brand too.
I
And
know,
they're
aren't
just
they weird about that?
yeah, and I'm like,
I've heard about that before too.
yeah,
I'm like,
where it's like they see you work with like another brand or own your own business, and then they're like, oh well, if we send our followers that way, then they're gonna like buy from her.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why do we have this mean girl energy?
I
Like
know,
we
I
have
hate
enough
it.
energy. We have enough for everyone to win. You know, that's the type
Literally.
of like way I look at stuff. Like you and I could literally do the same thing next door to each other, and
oh
I'd
yes,
be like,
and I'd be like, oh, this is amazing.
exactly.
Like celebrating every win you had.
Because it's like I love that there's more people than just me helping others with the same thing that I'm passionate about.
I was literally just thinking about this yesterday.
But it's like I just feel like there's so many people, and for some reason, women especially, and I hate it.
Yes.
That it's just like, how dare you
Yes.
do something that I'm doing? And it's like, why
Yes.
can't we just uplift each other? There's enough for everyone to win.
Exactly.
You know?
I know. I love like women. I love women.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing them do well and
Yeah.
killing it. And I
Yes.
don't care, what their story. I mean, I care what their story is because it matters. But it's like I'm not competing at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm in my own lane, you're in yours, and we can support each other and we can uplift each other. Like they were not taking away from each other by doing that. And I will never understand mean girl energy, especially at our age. I'm like,
No, girl.
come on. Like there's space for all of us.
I'm too mature for that crap.
Well, it's just annoying.
It's not high school anymore. Like,
Yeah,
why are we
no.
doing this shit?
I know. It's like if you aren't, my thing is like, we all have our own insecurities. We all have our things. But if I'm insecure, I know that's my issue.
Yes.
Like if I'm next to you and we're out, like which this wouldn't happen anymore. But if there's any reason I'm feeling insecure standing next to you, it's not a you problem. That's a me. That's hey, get in the gym a little bit more this week so that you feel better in your dress. Like, but it's like I want my friends to feel pretty. I want them to feel powerful. I want them to succeed. Like I want that for them as much as I want it for myself.
Yeah.
And so I can't stand. That's like the one thing that I really, really dislike is women that are catty, that are just like, that can't be happy for other people or people in general that can't be happy for other people when they're doing well or like succeeding or in a good place or like thriving like that. We should all be happy for people that are happy. Like just blows my mind.
You vibrate higher, and like I just repel people like that now because my energy is just so much higher than that. I don't have the time to waste in hate groups. I have literally never in my life left a negative comment online about anybody, not one time. Like there's just things where it's like I'm just not going to spend my time doing that. Like I'd rather uplift people and like keep working on myself and like show up and like guide people in a way where like I can hopefully inspire them. Like I'm not trying to be like shady or negative.
We can do so much more together.
Yeah. Yeah. And all that is when people do that is this is one thing I learned in therapy, which I like knew, but I just needed like the reminder is that most of it is just projection. So it's just people like projecting their own feelings about themselves inside of them that they're pushing onto you. So if they're saying, oh, I don't love that skirt on you today. It's really because they're probably feeling shitty about themselves. So they want you to feel like on that same level that they do, which is so odd to me because nothing feels good about putting someone down, but it's just the way it freaking goes sometimes, I guess. I don't know.
I love that I'm in a place in my life though. If someone said something like that, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, you like just
congratulations.
It just rolls off. You're like, meh, don't care. Yeah.
Sorry, I guess. Like, what?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, so you were saying earlier, like, you haven't really been, like, dating or anything. Are you just, like, not ready?
So, about a year and a half ago, I kind of had, like, a short dating situation, and it ended very painfully, like they all had up until that point. And I realized at that point, I still haven't healed the parts of me that allow people to treat me shitty when it comes to romantic relationships. Like I was in an abusive relationship. I was in a 10-year marriage. I'm not saying he was abusive, but I wasn't like happy or fulfilled. And it's like, I saw the pattern was still there to choose and allow people to have more of a place in my life than they had earned and deserved to have because I'm an empathetic person. I'm a loving person. I'm looking for the good in you. I'm not looking for the bad things. I'm understanding of your flaws. I'm not looking for your red flags. I'm looking for the reasons why you're a good person because I know I am, right? And I realized, okay, I have to shift something because this is an unending pattern. Like I'm going to keep ending up in relationships where I end up depleted, feeling used and hurt. And to an extent, that's my own fault at this point, right? Because I don't have to allow that anymore. So anyway, I was going through like a really painful situation that like really made me hit rock bottom. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm single until it feels right. I'm single until I feel like, okay, I can go into a relationship in a secure way and know who I am and know what I want, know what I need and not settle. And I think it was like, I don't know, a couple months ago, I met somebody And it was really great. And that was the first time in like a year and a half where I was like, okay, you know what? I'm open to this. I'm open to seeing what happens. And it ended and it didn't end how I had hoped it would. But I felt really good about the way I handled it. And it made me realize, okay, I'm closer to being ready than I was, but maybe
Yeah.
not quite there yet. Because it did still really hurt. Like I mean, it's never feels good.
No,
But
absolutely not.
I still ended up really disappointed with this person. And I'm not saying they're a bad person. I don't think they are. But like, I realized, okay, there's still some things I got to sort out for myself. And I'm not saying it's all on me because, you know, it's 50-50. Like when you get into a relationship with people, it's like they're responsible too for how they care for your heart as well. And that didn't really happen for me in that situation. But yeah.
I think you're a lot like me, and I blame myself, and I look inside me and wonder what I could have done different.
Yes.
And I also am just like you, where I like trust and I'm seeing the good, and I'm not looking for the red flags. Like I almost envy the girls that are looking for the red flags.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I wish I was like that.
Yes,
This would make my life much easier, you know?
I know.
And instead, I'm just like, but no, they're
a
like
good
really good deep
person.
down, and if I just coach them through it,
Yes.
they will show up better for me. And
Yes.
blah, blah, blah. I did the same shit, literally. So the first guy I like started seeing after my ex, same exact thing. Literally was like repeating myself and like getting myself in this place where I was like taking care of him and like managing his emotions for him and like
Yes.
literally trying to solve his
like
problems.
abandoning yourself and your own needs and
Yes.
wants and desires
Yes.
and thoughts and feelings because you're trying to protect theirs.
I mean, my literal whole day I felt like was just managing him because he
Yes.
couldn't even manage himself and he was a grown ass adult. And I
Yeah.
was like, why am I doing this? You know?
Yeah.
And thankfully, I feel like we're very similar where it's like, I like after exiting that situation, I was like, okay, I have a lot of growth to do, but I also am proud of myself because this was
Yes.
only a couple months versus like a couple
yes,
years.
yes,
You know what I mean? So it was
yes.
like, I just saw it as like a W, even though it was totally an L.
Yes.
Because I like noticed the progress, but I did realize how much work I still had to do.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I had gone through therapy through that whole thing. And luckily, like when things had ended, like I had talked through all of it with my therapist and stuff. And we really started coming to like these answers, I guess, of just like these limiting beliefs I think I was having, like where I didn't think like I deserved
Yeah.
someone who was secure. I like literally think I thought that the only way I could show up for a man was if he was like broken and needed me,
Ooh.
because then he wouldn't leave me
Oh.
is like what I was like probably doing in my head. Like, oh, he's so effed up. Like
He's gotta have me.
that's so horrible.
I'm gonna save you.
But I feel like that's like what I did with this guy. I was like, you're like a broken mess and you need me. Like you need me.
Look at me. I'm gonna help you and
So
save you.
What I was
Yeah.
learning is like I was actually creating like codependency without realizing it.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm like their mommy. Like, this is not okay. This is not okay. And so that was like a huge light bulb moment for me. And
I
then
guess.
I'm actually dating someone now. And like, I remember telling my therapist about him. And she was like, have you ever thought that like the very person that you are like so afraid to talk to that like is actually like a very different energy than someone you've ever gone after is like probably the right person because your brain isn't familiar with it? And I was like, maybe.
What does
maybe
that look
you're
like?
right. Yeah, like what's that mean?
What do I do
Like
with that?
someone who's really secure that doesn't actually need me but like chooses me? Weird.
What
and
is
so
that?
yeah, what if healthy relationship? What?
No.
And I'm here to say it does work because I do think like just especially like my childhood stuff, like my trauma from my childhood with like my family and stuff, like I think I was showing up just like not my best because I was hardwired that that's how you show up for a partner. And another thing, I'll have to send you the episode I did with my therapist on my podcast. So she taught me this during our session when we were recording on our podcast. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And I talk to you every week. And she said that the relationships you have with your parents are the first way you learn how to love. So that's how you show up in relationships too. And I know that kind of might not sound like that big of a, like, duh, you know?
It is.
But in my mind, I was like, I don't know why I thought relationships and, like, parent relationships were, like, very different. Like, to me, I'm like, oh, this is how you show up as a daughter to your parents. And then this is how you show up for a man. It's two different things. And in reality, like, your brain actually thinks, like, the same, like, for both of those relationships. Like, how you showed up for your parents or how your parents showed up for you is how you feel like you either what you deserve or how you are going to present yourself in a like a romantic relationship.
Facts. I can honestly say, like, I've learned, especially through this last situation, even though it was really short lived, I'm like, thank God. I'm so glad it happened.
Yeah.
Because it did suck, but I'm like, it was like a light bulb moment.
It
went
opens
off
your
for me
eyes. Yeah.
because I realized that, especially in this situation, I feel like I have to earn love from people. Like, I feel like I have to earn it. Like,
That's
if
right.
I do this, they're going to love me. If I do
did the
that,
same
they're going to love
thing.
me. If I overlook this, they're going to love me. If I buy them this, they're going to love me. If I am sweet and kind and awesome and patient and generous and all these things, even though that's not what they should be getting because they're not giving me that, they're going to love me. And in this situation, even though it was really short-lived, I was doing that.
Yep.
I was like withholding, and I was like seeking clarity in like a very mature way, which, you know, was great. I'm glad I did that. But also I was abandoning my own feelings and desires and wants and confusion because I wanted to be like careful.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't have to do that. Like, the right person for you is going to come into your life and you're going to get to just be yourself.
And they're going to love you no matter how much you're giving them that day.
Yes.
No matter how you show up. If you're having a bad day, if you're, God forbid, not perfect,
yes.
you know.
And if you come in and then you're like, hey, I'm feeling really anxious about this thing, they're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Well, how can I help? Like, what can I do to make you feel less anxious? Not go 3 days without responding,
yeah.
which is like exactly what happened, where I was like I was confused, and I'm like, it hit me, and I was like, wait, the confusion is the clarity. The confusion is my clarity. This isn't the right person.
Yeah.
The right person doesn't leave you confused.
It's
like,
true.
And no one's perfect.
No.
But the right person cares about how you feel.
And it's also not that hard to communicate.
Yeah,
like, let's be
right.
real. It's
Right.
2025. We all have
It'd
a
take you
phone.
3 days to
like,
say that, let's
you
be
could
honest.
FaceTime me. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
And
like,
if they want to, they will.
I was just going to say that. Yep. That's
they want
right.
to, they
That's right,
will.
girl. And there's how many other million of men out there that would want you? Like, you're beautiful, smart, ambitious. Like, I got a list already that I could say for you. And it's like, we aren't settling anymore.
No, we're not. We just aren't. We just sure not. But you know what? I'm proud because I did walk away from this situation. Like, you know what? You do you. I wish you the best. I really, really, truly do. And yeah, it hurt. And I don't feel like you handled that situation as well as I would have liked. But I'm okay.
It does hurt because it kind of hits that, like, abandonment button.
It sure did.
A little bit, you know.
It touched it.
But it's like...
But it wasn't about me.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And if they're not ready for you, like, thank God removed them.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, that's what all week I've been like, Lord, thank you. Because I know what I want even more now and what I deserve even more now. And it doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't mean anything. I just get to learn from this and move forward. And I'm even stronger now. And I have more wisdom now. And I'm like, I still have an open heart. And that is really great. Because before, when someone hurt me, it was like... I'm done. I'm off the market, which, you know, it sometimes is necessary. But this time I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that to myself.
Yeah.
If the right person comes, I want to be ready for it. I want to be open to it.
Yeah, you don't want to close off because then, like you said, what if the right person comes around and you're not ready for them?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Tell me more
tough.
about this guy you're dating now.
Okay.
Because you said your therapist was like, maybe it's the right person
Yeah.
for you if this and this and this and this. How has he shown up in ways that were different?
Oh my gosh.
What did that look like?
This man is so different than anyone I've ever met. So we have actually been friends for probably like 5 years now.
Okay.
And we were both married. I never thought of him in any other way other than someone I really respected and someone that was like a friend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it a friend, actually, like an acquaintance. Like, I knew of him.
Yeah.
And he knew of me. And a couple years ago, I was at a gym, oddly, working out, and he came up to me and was helping me with, like, an exercise because he was a trainer.
Yeah.
And he was just super nice, like, just shooting the shit with me. And I was with my other girlfriend, and he told me that he was opening a gym. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And he, like, gave me the name of it, and he was like, you know, look us up online when we open. Like, I'd love for you guys to come in and try it out, yada, yada. So me and my friend ended up actually, like, following along while he was, like, building his gym. And we, like, came in because we were like, oh, my gosh. Like, he was so sweet to us, super cool, very nice guy. And, like, I just feel like in St. Louis, I'm sure you know, like, everyone just wants to support, like, any hustler working hard, you know? And we were like, cool, a new gym. Like, we're going to support it. Like, why not? So I joined the gym. And then years later, I started my podcast. And I actually started it right after me and my ex split.
Oh.
And the reason I feel like I wanted to start it was because I just, again, a little bit of the trauma in me keeping busy. I was like, I need a project. I need something to work on. And I wanted to be able to have, like, longer form content where I could, like, share without sharing. I felt like, okay, I'm someone that needs to, like, share a lot. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. You got a lot in there.
And so I needed like an outlet where I
Yes.
could share where I wasn't going to be talking about my divorce because it was
Yes.
like so hard for me to not talk about it, but I didn't want to.
Yes.
And we agreed not to. Like my ex and I have agreed not to like ever blast each other online, any of that stuff,
That's
And so
great.
I was like, I need an outlet where I can share other things in my
Yes,
life
yes.
going on, And so I started my podcast and I freaking loved it and I still love it. And one of the days when I was planning, my podcast team was like, you need to start interviewing some guys. Like, this would be good for you. And I was like, okay. So I'm like thinking of people and I think of him because I'm like, okay, I've talked to him a couple times. He's always been super cool. Like, we have very similar energy. Like, he would be good to interview, So I go to his gym. We set up in like his lounge and I interviewed him. And I think we ended up doing like 2 or 3 different episodes together because we had really good conversations.
Aww.
Yeah. And this was like this was probably a year ago now that we did this. And after we did the podcast together, we did a couple on relationships, oddly. And we did one on like, I'm trying to remember if they were all on relationships, actually. They might have all been on relationships, oddly. And my, like, naive, like, dumb self didn't even think he was, like, into me because I just known him for so long as a friend.
Yes.
Okay? And, like, he knew me as a friend. And I actually didn't know he was even going through a divorce. I thought he was married. And so when we recorded together last spring, I just didn't think anything of it because I'm like, he's a married guy. He's never even acted interested in me. I never have with him either because we've just been
Just,
like
literally hadn't even crossed your mind.
just didn't even cross my mind. We had the best conversation. My podcast team after is ringing me like up and they're like, oh my God, that was the best conversation you've ever had yet. You guys have the best like energy, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. Yeah, sweet. Like didn't think anything of it. Like whatever, So months go by. I mean, literally almost 6 months probably. And I'm like at the gym one day. And I'm there with my assistant because we were actually shooting some content because they have like really nice bathrooms there. So we were getting some like skincare content there. And my assistant's like, excuse me? Like the owner of the gym is like super cute and he's like into you. And why are you not like acting into him? And I was like, what the hell do you mean? And she's like, I just saw you guys talking over there. Like, you're like flirting with each other. I'm like, no, we're not. And she's like, yes, you are. And I'm just like, okay. And so I go back over and I like start talking to him. I'm like, maybe he is interested in me. Like, I just had no freaking clue. I'm like, I was so oblivious. So we ended up, he like asked me to go on like a hike with him. And so we went on like a hike one night and we ended up getting like stuck out there in the dark actually. And it was so much fun, but we were out there for like ever. And then we went to dinner and like, it was just super fun. Like, and he had told me in between like all this that he had gone through a divorce, by the way. And so I knew at this point he was single. And so we pretty much have been like inseparable since. But the thing about him that is so different, is that he lives his own life and I live mine. Meaning, he's super independent. He handles his shit. He doesn't need me to take care of him. He's not blowing my phone up all day. He's not reliant on me.
Yeah.
He handles his shit like a man. Mm-hmm. And he's a freaking man. Yeah. And if I'm in distress and need something, he shows up.
Ooh,
and he's there.
A rip wheeler, if you will.
Yeah.
That's my favorite kind of guy.
And he is just like, he's got my back. He's loyal. Like, I never question a thing with him because he tells me everything I need to know. He communicates everything with me and he's like super, super open. And I didn't realize until him that what I actually need in a man, and if men are listening, I'm sure all of us women need this. We all just want that open communication. And what I mean by that is just be fucking vulnerable. Like, actually tell me when you're having a bad day.
Yes.
Actually tell me when you're upset with something instead of just fucking pretending like you're fine.
Yeah.
I feel like all these men do this where they're like, I'm fine. And they're like walking around like angry.
With a chip on their shoulder.
With a chip on their shoulder. And they're like pissed off at you or something and they just won't tell you. And it's like, just be a man and tell me what's up. Like, it's not that hard, Yeah. And so I like admire him so much because he's just honest. If there's a problem, he addresses it head on immediately. And not with me because we don't really have we've never had issues yet.
But if you did, you can trust that he would.
Exactly, because in other areas of our life, he will do that. Like, he will immediately address stuff. So I know with me, if he had an issue, he will come to me. And I am definitely kind of like a anxious people pleaser person. Mm-hmm. And so when I have those moments where I'm like, ooh, he's kind of having a bad day. Is he like mad at me? I remind myself, I'm like, fuck no. Because if he's mad at me, he would come right to me and tell me what the problem is. You know what I mean? Good. And you never want a man where you have to question anything. Like, that alone is like the
torture.
most, yes, torture.
It's pure torture.
And you feel so secure when you have somebody who you know is authentic and honest and not fabricating and not just telling you what you want to hear. And so, like, the biggest thing I've learned with him for sure is just, like, from day one, we told each other, because we've been through a lot. We've both been through divorce. It's like, I don't care how freaking hard it is. I don't care if the truth is the most painful thing in the whole world. You tell me to my face what it is.
Yes.
You do not lie to me.
Yes.
And that is, like, our only rule. Like, we don't lie. We are honest. We tell each other everything. If there's something on our heart, even if we're, like, scared to say it, we say it. And we just handle stuff, you know? And, like, we are just a very good team. We work very well together. We have, like, similar love languages. We show up for each other the same. Like, I've always needed someone who's there for me, like, emotionally, because I'm a very emotional person, and I'm also very strong, but I'm someone who needs, like, a little bit of grounding sometimes. And he can, like, just say one thing and it just brings me right back down to earth. And so it's, like, it's so nice. And I will tell you, there are men out there.
That's, like, my biggest fear.
Is
that because, you know, women, we're emotional anyway. It's just, we can't help it. Like, it is what it is, but nothing feels worse than being with someone that makes you feel bad for it.
Exactly.
Especially when, I'm emotional, but I also know I'm pretty normal. Like, I'm not going to put everything on you. I'm thinking about, like, your needs and your wants and your space and all that first anyway. So it's like, if I come to you with something and you still dismiss it and then you make me feel bad for it, like, that's the worst feeling in the world.
The dismissal thing and, like, and then, like, being, like, gaslit and shit, like, that stuff, I literally will just, like, lose my mind because it just feels so disrespectful.
Yes.
When it's like, I'm like you, I'm emotional, but it's like, it's not like I'm like a roller coaster all day.
Yes.
I just have big feelings and things I want to talk about, and I'm very passionate. And if I'm, like, upset, like, your partner should be someone you can lean on.
Exactly.
And someone that's, like, your best friend, literally almost like a girlfriend, but, like, they're a guy. And you could talk to them about anything and not feel judged, not feel like they're going to, like, dismiss you, not feel like they're going to question you. Like, they're just going to support you. Like, just be there as support. And, like, that is something, like, I have never had in my entire life with a man. You know, I've struggled my whole life with just the male side of things, like any male figure in my life, really. And for the first time, like, I have somebody who not only shows up for me, but they're not just telling me what I want to hear. They're showing me.
Which is so important.
With their actions. Yes. It's always got to be actions over what they say.
That's the other worst feeling.
Oh, yeah.
When a guy's like, oh, yeah, no, I would totally want to be there for you. And then they're just not.
Yeah.
And
they're like just a freaking text warrior and just, telling you all the stuff you want to hear. And in reality, it's like, well, your actions are not matching up. And
they're gone for 4 days and you're like, I guess.
And then guess what?
Okay.
You have no trust at all.
Zero trust.
And one thing I still will never forget from couples therapy was they showed us this house, and the house was your relationship house. Have you seen this? Okay. And so there's 2 walls to it, and it's trust and commitment. And then the roof has, like, all these other tiers and stuff, but you cannot build a house without walls. So the 2 walls, if you don't have the trust piece, your house literally falls over. And so it's like, think of how many relationships out there that you've been in or that your friends are in or whatever, where the trust is not there. 50% of what takes a relationship to be strong is already gone.
Yeah.
So it's like the trust is, like, everything. And to me, to have trust, it's your actions.
Yep.
It's what you say.
Yeah.
But it's also just, like, are you consistent? Like, are you actually there for me? Like, do you have my best interest in mind? Like, I don't trust you if there's moments where I feel like we're not on the same team.
Yeah, exactly. Or I feel like I'm having to seek you out to understand or know what's wrong, or
where it's not reciprocated. Like, you're like, I'm putting in 100 and you're putting in 0. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, now you're just a liability.
No, literally. I saw this thing. I don't remember where it was or what it was, but it was like, ladies, and I'm sure this is for anyone, but you have to start looking at every romantic person that comes into your life as a liability first. You look at them as a liability first until they prove that they're not.
Yeah.
And I was like,
but again, where you and I are horrible at that, because we look at everything from, like,
I'm like, love, yes, I'm so excited. Like, yes, somebody likes me. Are you kidding me? And, like, I get so wrapped up so quick. I'm like a freaking squirrel when it comes to love. I'm like,
oh my God, same. We, like, start at 100 and then they, like, chip away at it, where everyone else starts at 0 and they have to, like, earn it. And I'm like, I want to be like that.
I know, but I've learned my lesson.
Yeah,
it sounds like
you've really worked on, like, which I also, by the way, admire what you said about the relationships you've been in, because it shows your awareness and how you want to put in the work so that when the right person comes around, you're ready for them.
Exactly.
Like, that's awesome.
Because, I mean, that's the truth of it all. Like, it's not every relationship. It's 2 people. You're both flawed. Everyone comes into relationships with flaws, but I don't want to be the reason it doesn't work. You know?
Yeah.
And the truth is like, we all have our things, but awareness goes so far. Like, I don't care if you're perfect, but be aware of your stuff.
It's the first step to anything.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you fix something if you're not aware of it?
Yeah.
You know?
If you don't even know that the things you do are hurtful and you don't know
Exactly.
why, and you're looking at everyone else like, well, what's your problem? Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So I feel like you're on the right path because it's almost like you've tested yourself a couple times, you
Mhm.
know, and you're like, okay, this isn't,
Yeah.
we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But all of those are obviously learning lessons, and
They
they're getting
sure
you
are.
one step closer to that like real love and that real relationship. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've only been with my guy for like 6 months, but I feel like just like you, where it's like, okay, even if this doesn't work out,
Yeah.
I am so far ahead
Yes.
of where I was 2 years ago. And I know so much more about what I need and what my needs are and what I want and what I will and won't stand for. Not only for myself, but for my daughter.
Yes. And that's it. That's it.
Mhm.
That's so it. Oh, man. Oh. We could just probably talk for 17
I
hours
know.
if I'm honest. But we'll wrap it up, though. But what I want to know is, like, being a woman who's been through really hard things, who's had to navigate her way, refine herself, rebuild, what is the one thing that you would say to a woman that's like where we were 2 years ago? Like, just at that point of like, oh God, I don't know what this is supposed to be or how to do this or what to do, or like, what is that one thing? If you could go back to yourself 2 years ago when you're in the thick of it, what would you look at yourself and say?
I would tell myself to keep putting in the work on me
Yeah.
instead of trying to like lean on other people. And I'm not saying you can't. Like
Yeah.
you need to lean on other people. But
Yeah.
when it comes to getting through this, it's time to look inward and just trust yourself and work on you, because that's the best asset you have, you know, like it's how strong you are. And you can have all the friends, all the family, all the support in the whole world, but if you aren't checking in with you and you aren't taking the time for yourself, getting in the gym, journaling, going to therapy, whatever it is that helps you heal, you're just going to keep repeating that same thing over and over again. And that's the reason we get out of these situations, is so we don't repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
Like just like you said earlier, like if I'm looking at my life and I'm not happy with where I'm at, I'm going to be regretting it. And so if I want to leave this situation that is so painful and so hard and so awful and become better from it, then I have to start actually facing the shit I've been avoiding. I have to actually start working on growth.
Yeah.
And you can only control what you can control, and that's how you show up. And so I think when you first go through something really hard like that, there's so many different angles you can take, you know, there's so many different things you have to worry about. And, you know, there's finances and how are we going to live, and am I going to be alone, and where am I going to go? And there's just so much, but it's like at the core of everything is your emotions and your strength and your faith and excuse me, and the way that your outlook, the way you view it. And if you're going into this negative and scared and not trusting yourself, like, have fun. Like, that's gonna be really hard to navigate, you know? So it's like you gotta just buckle up and like work on you and keeping yourself strong. And if you have a family, like children that you have to take care of too, like they need you to be strong.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell myself, is just keep doing the work. Because looking back, I'm so grateful that I stayed in therapy.
Yeah.
I was in therapy before we separated, and I'm still in it now.
Yeah.
I was so grateful that I kept going to church, kept going to the gym, kept showing up for myself, kept listening to the podcast. I mean, anything I could do to just feel like I could grow from something this hard, it feels like it's not wasted then.
Yes. So true. My coach always says, if you just keep doing it, if you just stay consistent, whatever it is, it will work.
Yeah.
It will work out.
The only person that fails is someone who quits.
Yeah.
You don't fail if you don't quit.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
so even though it's so hard and you don't know where the end result is or where you're going, just don't stop.
Yeah.
Just don't stop working on you. Don't stop trying to get answers. Don't stop trying to problem solve and navigate your way through it. There is no right or wrong way, but the best thing you can do is like restore your confidence and just trust yourself as you navigate it.
Yes. And that, you know, that's totally it. That's what I'm trying to get to, is just building myself into the type of person that I know I can trust, even if I can trust no one else. I've learning to trust myself to always find my way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's something like so beautiful in that. And
Yeah.
and what's interesting is when you start trusting yourself like that again, you start attracting more people too, because they can see that you're
Yes.
confident and they like the direction you're going in.
Yeah. That's so true. Oh, this was amazing. You'll just have to come back.
Yeah,
we'll do
girl.
all the other stuff.
I would love to anytime.
For sure. And that's our wrap for our episode today. Make sure you go and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast at This Is Where We Heal. And you can also find my guest, Ashley, on any social media platform, Ash Nordman, and her skincare line, AN Skin, and it is incredible. Make sure you go and support her. You can subscribe to her podcast as well. What is the podcast called?
Not Ashamed
Podcast with Ash Nordman. And yeah, that's a wrap.
Woohoo!